I finally watched Hamnet the other night, and I wanted to make a video about it just because I've read the book and I thought that it was very, very beautiful. And I watched the movie and I thought that it was very, very beautiful. And I've had nowhere to really put the words to what it made me feel anywhere. And I wanted to talk about the idea of like an enduring grief and enduring mourning and everlasting mourning, and the way that that was so like provocative in such a deeply disturbing but also beautiful way in this movie and in this story. You know, the idea of grief being like a wave that washes over you, like it goes back out with the tide and it comes back in, is something that I've heard many, many people say. And oftentimes that tide disappears when the people who loved you most are no longer here. But with Hamnet, and with the idea of this story, with the idea of the enduring legacy of Shakespeare, we see that the idea of grief in works of literature, in works of poetry, and plays is enduring. And so the idea that mourning ends is just incorrect, because we have been mourning the loss of this child for this family since it happened. I mean, we don't know for certain if Shakespeare was inspired by the loss of his son to write this story, but it's really easy to infer that that is the truth. And he is not the only scenario in which we have seen art be inspired by the loss, the grief, the mourning of a child, a loved one, a parent, a sister, a friend. And so this idea that often is talked about it coming and going, while it may be super comforting to us in the now, and as we live, I think it's also super comforting to think about the fact that your loved ones are not forgotten, not only just in your mind, but in art, in the way that we think about how like prevailing and how just timeless art can be. You know, Jessie Buckley just won Best Actress at the Oscars for playing a grieving mother from the 1500s, a mother that was real, a mother that existed, a mother that lost a child. And it resonated with thousands and thousands of people. Grief is timeless. Mourning is timeless. It's everlasting. It is not something that comes and goes. It is something that is deeply affecting to everyone in this world in some way, shape, or another. Even if you've never lost someone, you've been impacted by the art that has been created by someone losing someone. And the idea of an everlasting mourning and an everlasting grief, while it seems possibly scary, I find it deeply beautiful that we love humans and those around us so deeply, so much, that we create this enduring legacy that lasts beyond not just their lifetime, but our lifetime and generations of lifetimes moving forward. I know Hamlet is obviously like a huge example of this, but there are others. And that is kind of what I've been sitting with. And I had no one to like verbalize this to, so I just wanted to make a video to talk about it, because I think that it is deeply beautiful to think about how human it is to care for people that are no longer here.